This is just a quick video introducing the glossary, my book Cape of Storms, which has taken me 20 years to publish. It's set in South Africa, and I just want to introduce you to the glossary at the beginning of the book. It's a list of Afrikaans, Zulu and colloquial words that are used in South Africa. They occur in order of appearance. So when you're reading it, when you come across it in the text, it will make more sense and maybe make it a little bit more lively for you. Afrikaans obviously is a language derived from the Dutch settlers. I lived in a place called Durban in South Africa, and I grew up in Durban, and Durban was traditional English-speaking city. Joburg was generally Afrikaans, most of the Afrikaans were generally in Joburg, and Cape Town was a mix. And then Orange Free State, Pretoria, they were very Afrikaans places. So Durban was kind of like a very English-speaking place. Ja and nia. Ja means yes in Afrikaans, and it's something that whether you're English or Afrikaans, or Zulu or Xhosa or whatever you are in South Africa, we generally say ja instead of yes. It's just part of the vernacular, and it's something that I had to stop saying when I left South Africa, because no one says ja out of South Africa. So yeah. Okay, uitkom, that means get out. Uitkom, get out. That's Afrikaans for get out. At one part of the book, the character has to write lines, and the lines that she has to write are Ek sal my onderwyser gehoorsaam, which means I will obey my teacher. Okay, and now Oma. So I talk about Oma a lot in the book, and Oma is Afrikaans word for grandma or grandmother. And my Oma lives in a dorp, and dorp is like a small town, a really small town. And so my Oma lives in a dorp, and she grows granadillas. So granadilla, it's a South African word for passion fruit. And to me, even though I've been gone 20 years, I always think of it as being a granadilla, not a passion fruit. Okay, a koekzester, that is like a Dutch syrupy sweet. We can still buy them from the South African shops here, and they are like calorie overload, but every now and then they are really yummy, and they're a little reminder of home. Okay, sangoma, that's a African witch doctor. Muti, for medicine. A cozy is a swimsuit. I still call the swimsuit a cozy, and if people look at me perplexed, that's tough luck. Mossipop, so that means sparrow's fart, and that's, so the Oma, she says she gets up really early in the morning, and she calls it getting up at Mossipop, which means I get up really early at sparrow's fart. Baie goed, that means very good. Goeiemôre, that means good morning in Afrikaans. Yebo, that is Zulu for yes. And also, to give you a bit of context about Durban, is not only was Durban an English city, but before the English came, the Zulus were there. It belongs to the Zulus, and so I learned to speak Zulu in primary school and high school. I came into contact with lots of Zulu Africans in Durban, and they're amazing people. They really are. They're very passionate, great sense of humor. And the language is quite beautiful. It's not like Xhosa. Xhosa is a bit more harsher, but Zulu is really lyrical actually sometimes. Okay, so yebo, that means yes in Zulu. Sawubona, that means hello in Zulu. That's like if you wanted to greet someone, you'd say sawubona. What else? Oh yes, a robot. Okay, so in the text you'll see me talking about stopping at the robot. I had to stop at the red robot. In South Africa we call traffic lights robots. Okay, I don't know why, but it kind of makes sense if you think about it. It is a robot, okay? But that's something that I've had to stop saying after leaving and being away for 20 years, because if I call it a robot here in Australia or New Zealand or England, they would have all said, what are you talking about? Okay, a tokolosh, it's an evil spirit. That's an African African folklore. It's an evil spirit. Nia, that means no. What else have we got? All right, toi toi. Okay, so toi toi, that's a dance used in political protests. And it's, they make the sound when they toi toi. Tula. Okay, so now this is a lovely Zulu word that I use with my children, and it can mean a couple of things. You can say it different ways. So tula, if you say oh tula, it means hush. And actually there's a Zulu lullaby. Tula tu tula baba tula sana, tula tu tula baba. Yeah, I used to sing that to my children when they were babies, and so it's just sort of a nice way of saying hush. But if you say tula wena, tula wena, that means shut up. You know, so it can be used in an abrasive way, or it can be used in a really gentle way as well. I think it's a beautiful word. It's one of those beautiful lyrical Zulu words. A shabeen, right? So this is an illicit bar. They probably aren't illicit anymore, but in apartheid days and just leading up to the end of apartheid, they were basically unlicensed drinking holes. And you used to sometimes get the like teenage white kids used to go down near the townships and the urban areas where there were shebeens, and they used to get alcohol because they weren't old enough to buy alcohol. And shebeens were dangerous, obviously. Okay, a lobola. Right, so lobola, in the Zulu tradition, when someone is married, the groom has to pay for the bride, basically. So he has to pay a lobola for the bride, and it's usually paid with cows. That might have changed now, but when I was there, it was paid for generally with cows. Okay, so it would be like, I want your daughter, and I will give you 50 cows. Okay. My first year out of school, I worked in a bakery, and I worked with this Zulu guy called Steve, and he used to say to me every day, how much is your lobola? Because I really want to I really want to marry you. And I used to say, no lobola, no marriage, no lobola. No one is buying me with cows. I'm sorry, no. Ish, that's another exclamation in Zulu. So like ish should be just like ish. Don't say that. Ikona, that's also Zulu. It just means like, it's another way of saying no way. So ikona. A braai or braai vleis, that's South African word for barbecue. Boerewors, South African word for a spicy sausage. Not something I used to eat. A voetsak, okay, so this is Afrikaans for get lost, or it could also mean off. Okay, so I'm not going to say that in this forum, because there might be younger people watching, although there shouldn't be, because it's not a young person's book. It's definitely an adult book. Alright, a bakkie is a pickup truck. And 19-foot sack, this is a good one. 19-foot sack, a colloquial way of saying that I haven't heard that in ages. Like, I haven't seen Lucy since 19-foot sack. So it just means like such a long time I haven't seen them, or haven't heard that phrase since 19-foot sack. It just means a really long time. Okay, so that is an introduction to the glossary. I hope you enjoyed that.